In this lesson, I will give you an overview of organizational environments and cultures. We will discuss organizations as open and closed systems. We will also discuss the external environment and the 4 components of the general environment. We will also discuss the 5 components of the specific environment, and we'll end with a brief discussion of organizational culture. So in today's lesson, we're reviewing organizations as systems, or a set of interrelated elements or parts that function as a whole. We normally describe systems in terms of closed systems and open systems. For closed systems, these are self-sustaining organizations that don't necessarily interact with their environments. It's more helpful, though, and more often that we view organizations as open systems, ones that interact with their environments. So as an example of a closed system, Henry Ford is famous for saying that you can have the Model T car in any color so long as it's black. In other words, Henry Ford originally tried to reduce costs by saying it's easier for us to produce cars that are made in only one color, and that color will be black. However, they quickly had to change that because the environment, or in this case their customers, wanted other colors. And as their customers started to turn to other vehicles, Henry Ford changed this. So even in this example, it's hard to say that an organization can be viewed as a closed system. Instead, we tend to view organizations as open systems, ones that interact with their environment or external forces that may play a part in what the organization does internally. So if you view the organization in terms of inputs, some kind of transformation process, and then outputs, the inputs and the transformation process and the output can all be impacted by the environment or what's going on around them. For example, when I was at International Paper, their input may have been trees. That's the main input. They take trees, they do some type of transformation process that breaks down that tree and transform it into their products, which in this case would have been, let's just use paper as one of their products, loose leaf paper that you can use in a copying machine. For Texas A&M Commerce, we can say that their input could be students, or these could be high school students or students that have just finished high school, or students that have their graduate degree or their undergraduate degree. But during this transformation process, the students attend classes and do other types of activities, and then their output for commerce would be a student with a degree, either an undergraduate degree or some type of graduate degree. What we teach our students and what the students learn can be impacted by the environment. And we'll walk through some of those environmental forces in a little while. So one example of an open systems approach with a particular company is McDonald's. It's kind of interesting how McDonald's is always changing or morphing what they're doing based on what's going on in their environment. For example, they look at their competition, which is a component of their external environment, and they saw that Sonic was doing half-price drinks at certain times, so McDonald's then changed and started doing $1 drinks. Or they saw that Starbucks was having an impact on their breakfast sales due to their coffee, so McDonald's changed and made the McCafe line. So we see many times where McDonald's is able to modify their menu or the products that they're offering based on what's going on in the environment. So when you look at this from a managerial perspective, we're actually trying to say that managerial discretion can either be impacted by, can really be impacted by the environment. Sometimes the environment is internal or the organizational culture, and other times that impact comes from the external environment or the organization's environment itself. So let's look at a few ways that the organization can be impacted by the environment. We'll start with the external environment. So the external environment can be either viewed as the general environment or the specific environment. The general environment includes broad economic, social, cultural, political, legal, and demographic forces that can impact the organization, while the specific environment relates to these external factors that have a direct and immediate impact on the organization. Let's keep in mind that the general environment, again, are the socio-cultural trends, technological trends, economical trends, and political legal trends. Some examples for the political legal. Managers must be aware of the laws, regulations, and potential lawsuits that could impact their businesses. So we see changes that occur. U.S. Congress or our local governments may change rules and regulations, and then those things may impact our organization. Changes in the economy may also impact our organization. So, for example, a lot of companies monitor gas prices and may have to change their prices based on what the price of gas is. Sociocultural forces that may play a part are changes to what's going on in the world around us. For example, when restaurants see that companies or individuals are starting to want to eat more healthy, they may need to change their menu to offer healthier foods or foods that are more organic and fit the trends that are going on within society today. And then we're all aware of many technological changes that may occur, and so the companies may have to keep up with what's going on with technological forces in their environment. Some examples from commerce of the general environment. We recently had to implement a campus concealed carry policy because there was some changes in our political and legal environment that said that students can now carry concealed guns on campus. Because of this, we had to change our policies to interact and to take advantage of what's going on with that law, and so our university had to change some of its practices. Similarly, an economic impact is the affordable degree plan. Our governor came out and said we would love to be able to have some affordable degrees. In other words, where we can keep the price the same for the 4 years that the student is in school. And so we came up with a few affordable degree plans to help students understand and manage the financial side of getting an education. Sociocultural. We took on, as Texas A&M Commerce, we took on the goal of teaching our students or preparing our students for an interconnected world. This has to do with understanding socio-cultural or diversity changes that are going on within our country today. And then we're also building a nursing and health sciences new building, which is going to be something that's up-to-date, technological, so that we can help our nursing and health sciences students get the best education possible. Components of the specific environment. So those were the general environment. Components of the specific environment include our customers, competitors, suppliers, industry regulations, and advocacy groups. A few examples include our students. That's our customers. We can also say that some parents are our customers if our parents are supporting the students in their education, but primarily we're concerned with our students as our customers. Our competitors include other schools that we may compete with on an athletic level, or that we may compete with on an academic level, and choosing which schools students decide to attend. Our suppliers normally include some type of high school student that has graduated or a student that has their GED, and so we have to partner with our high schools to see what type of education they're getting there when they're feeding into our schools. Industry regulations. We are a part of the Texas A&M University system, and so many of our rules and regulations come from or are handed down from the Texas A&M University system. And then there are plenty of advocacy groups, groups that are concerned about what we're teaching. The AACSB is our accreditation body, and so our business accreditation body, and so there are many things that they want us to follow. And then we're concerned and also in touch with our alumni, because our alumni go out, they see things that are going on within the business world today, and they can tell us what needs to change with our current education process so that our current students get all that they need to be ready to go into the real world. All right, so now we'll take a quick look at the internal or the organizational culture side of what impacts a manager's decisions. So company founders create organizations in their images. So when a company is first founded, it takes on kind of the role or the personality of the founding bodies of that organization. Culture is sustained and recognized by the employees that come later and continue to show what's going on within that particular organization. So we then, as Commerce, try to highlight the achievements of our alumni, our faculty, and students, and we try to show what's going on and with those particular groups in order to keep that culture alive here at Commerce. Sometimes we even fly our flag at half-staff in honor of someone that has gone before us, a former faculty member or a former student or an alumni that has done great things and may have passed away. So how do we learn the culture here at Commerce? Well, we learn culture in a lot of different ways. Stories that we hear when we first come in as freshmen or we're involved with what's going on within the organization. Rituals, for example, we fly lion fingers or show the lion fingers when we're singing our alma mater. So these are just different ways, stories, rituals, material symbols, and language that help us not only create our culture, but carry that culture and teach it to others that come within our organization. If you haven't already completed the culture exercise, be sure to do so, and I look forward to seeing your ways that you express Commerce's culture in your own way.